Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Deep into the Bible channel. Today we're going to explore one of the most fascinating mysteries of the Bible, the Nephilim and the giants. Who were they and where did they come from? What is their role in biblical history? Let's see what is written in the book of Genesis. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. The Bible mentions that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful and took them as wives. These marriages produced the Nephilim, who are described as giants or heroes of the past, famous men. But who exactly were these sons of God and the Nephilim? There are several interpretations of these mysterious figures. One common interpretation is that the sons of God were celestial beings, possibly fallen angels, who had relationships with human women, resulting in an offspring of giants. Now let's examine the most popular theory about the Nephilim, the fallen angels theory. According to this interpretation, the sons of God, mentioned in Genesis 6 verses 1 to 4, were actually fallen angels. These angels disobeyed God and came down to earth, where they had relationships with human women. These encounters gave rise to the Nephilim, who are described as giants of great strength and fame. This theory is supported by apocryphal texts such as the Book of Enoch, which, while not part of the traditional biblical canon, is an important source of information about fallen angels. The Book of Enoch refers to these angels as the Watchers and details their transgressions and the consequences of their actions. According to Enoch, the Watchers taught mankind forbidden knowledge and spawned a race of giants, furthering the corruption of the earth. These fallen angels were severely punished by God. They were chained and imprisoned in darkness until the final judgment, while the Nephilim, their descendants, were destroyed by the flood, as told in the story of Noah. The fallen angels theory offers a supernatural and dramatized explanation for the origin of the Nephilim, emphasizing the theme of rebellion against God and its catastrophic consequences. This interpretation has fascinated scholars and believers for generations, influencing not only theology but also literature and popular culture. According to the descendants of Seth theory, the sons of God, referred to in Genesis 6, are not angelic beings, but the descendants of Seth, the third son of Adam and Eve. Seth is often seen as the godly lineage that followed God, as opposed to the lineage of Cain, who turned away from God and engaged in corrupt behavior. In this interpretation, the sons of God would be the pious men of the Seth lineage, while the daughters of men would be the women of the Cain lineage. The union of these two lineages resulted in moral and spiritual degradation, culminating in the emergence of the Nephilim, people of great power and influence, but also of great corruption. The Nephilim are not necessarily physical giants, but powerful and famous individuals whose deeds were remembered, but who also represented the corruption that spread throughout the earth. This theory suggests that the term giants can be interpreted figuratively, referring to the status and influence of these people rather than their physical stature. The mixing of the lines symbolizes the mixing of the righteous with the wicked, leading to the increase of wickedness that resulted in the judgment of the flood. This interpretation offers a more naturalistic and moralistic view of the narrative, focusing on spiritual and social decay rather than supernatural events. In addition to the two main theories we've explored, there are several other interpretations and debates surrounding the Nephilim that also deserve attention. One such theory is the hypothesis that the Nephilim may have been an advanced race or hybrids. Some scholars and theorists suggest that the Nephilim may have been the fruit of an ancient and advanced civilization, perhaps even with superior knowledge and technology, who were mythologized as giants due to their size and power. Another interesting interpretation is that of symbolic allegory. Some theologians believe that the Nephilim symbolically represent the mixing of the sacred and the profane. In this context, the story would serve as a warning against spiritual corruption and the loss of religious purity. There are also theories that the stories of the Nephilim were influenced by ancient mythologies. Many ancient peoples had legends of giants and powerful beings, and it is possible that the biblical narrative was influenced by these cultural and mythological traditions. Debates about the Nephilim are not limited to theological and historical interpretations. In popular culture, especially in literature, film, and modern conspiracy theories, the Nephilim are often portrayed as mysterious and powerful creatures that capture the public's imagination and curiosity. The variety of theories and debates surrounding the Nephilim reveals how this biblical narrative continues to fascinate and inspire people throughout the ages. Whether as fallen angels, descendants of Seth, ancient civilizations, or allegorical symbols, the Nephilim remain a mystery that piques our curiosity. The Nephilim are not the only giants mentioned in the Bible. Let's explore other references to giants to better understand this fascinating subject. One of the best-known stories is that of Goliath, a Philistine giant described in 1 Samuel. Goliath was a warrior of enormous stature and strength, feared by all until he was defeated by the young shepherd David with a simple rock and a sling. This story not only highlights David's courage and faith, but also symbolizes the victory of the seemingly weak over the mighty. Another group of giants mentioned in the Bible are the Anakim. In Numbers 13, the spies sent by Moses to explore the land of Canaan reported seeing the descendants of Anak, described as giants, which caused great fear among the Israelites. The presence of the Anakim posed a great challenge to the conquest of the Promised Land. In addition to the Anakim, we find references to the Rephates, a race of giants who inhabited the region of Bashan. King Og of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephates, is mentioned in Deuteronomy 3, where the size of his iron bed, approximately 13 feet long and 6 feet wide, is noted. These stories of giants are often interpreted in different ways. Some see these accounts as literal descriptions of beings of great stature, while others suggest that the giants symbolize great challenges or powerful enemies that the Israelites faced. The constant presence of giants in the biblical narrative reflects themes of strength, challenge, and divine intervention. They are figures that capture the imagination and unveil the grandeur of the biblical stories. But what do these enigmatic figures teach us about faith and spirituality? As we have seen, the Nephilim are often interpreted as symbols of the mixing of the divine and the human, or the righteous and the wicked. If the sons of God are seen as fallen angels, this underscores the theme of rebellion against God and the catastrophic consequences that such disobedience can bring. The narrative warns of the dangers of straying from God's ways and engaging in corrupt behavior. If we interpret the sons of God as descendants of Seth and the daughters of men as descendants of Cain, the Nephilim can symbolize the spiritual corruption that occurs when purity of faith is compromised. This emphasizes the importance of maintaining spiritual and moral integrity by avoiding negative influences. Giants such as Goliath, Anakim, and the Rephaim also carry deep meanings. Goliath, for example, represents the great challenges and obstacles we may face in life. David's victory over Goliath is not only a physical victory, but also a demonstration of how faith in God can enable us to overcome any adversity, regardless of the size of the challenge. The constant presence of giants in the Bible serves to remind believers that, with God's help, even the greatest problems can be overcome. They also illustrate the struggle between good and evil and the certainty that, with divine assistance, good will triumph. The Nephilim and the giants, then, are not merely mysterious and fascinating figures. They are powerful symbols of spiritual and moral lessons that continue to inspire and teach believers to this day. They invite us to reflect on our own faith, our challenges, and the way we relate to the divine. These stories, though ancient, continue to teach and inspire us. They invite us to reflect on our own lives, our faith, and how we face our daily challenges. Do we maintain our spiritual integrity? Do we trust God to help us overcome our personal giants? If you like the video, please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and may God bless your life.